Namaskar. Professor Himanshu Pandya, Chief Mentor, IHUF, M. Nagaranjan, Director of Higher Education, Government of Gujarat, Sri Anju Sharma, IAS Principal Secretary, Education Department and Chairperson, IHUF, Government of Gujarat, and all who are present in this digital platform. I congratulate you all for having invited me to share my ideas with you. And I'm not here to inspire you, but to be inspired by you, because you are real in the practical field, who are working to materialize the Startup India mission of our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi ji. Modi ji has always been an advocate, a champion of technology. Now we understand the importance of technology in this global pandemic, when we cannot meet each other, when we cannot organize big meetings, but we can contact with persons throughout the world through this digital platform. This is the boon of technology to all of us. And this is a unique idea. I know the subject is very vast, but my knowledge is limited and the time also very limited, because I shall again have to run to Parliament. But the idea is a unique one. This IHUB and Startup Runway is a very wonderful idea. I congratulate you all for that, and especially the government of Gujarat for having floated this idea and materializing this idea. Probably government of Gujarat is the only state government having a dedicated policy for supporting student innovation and startups by Higher and Technical Education Department in the form of student startup and innovation policy. So not only this policy, they are also financing the startups, the young innovators, and that is a great achievement of government of Gujarat. Government of Gujarat is the best performing state in this field, I can say, and so they are really welcome. And I urge other states to follow this model of government of Gujarat, because in many states our student innovators don't get any hand-holding support. I remember an incident when Swami Vivekananda and Jamsetji Tata were moving in a ship. Swamiji was going to address the Parliament religions, and Jamsetji was going for his business. Both of them talked each other about their destination and the purpose of going. When Swamiji came to know that Jamsetji were trading different steel materials, purchasing it from foreign lands and selling it in Indian market, he told, "Fine on your education, you may be rich, but your country cannot prosper." Jamsetji asked, "Why?" Swamiji told that a country which exports raw materials to a foreign land and purchases foreign goods after value added there is a baby in the field of industry. By the time we were sending iron ore, manganese and all the raw materials, our minerals, and purchasing foreign steel products, and we were selling our cotton, our farmers were producing cottons, and we are selling it in low price, and we are purchasing cloths from Manchester. And although India is surrounded by ocean on three sides, we are purchasing salt from Liverpool. So our economy was completely finished. And then Jamsetji asked, "What is to be done?" Swamiji immediately replied, "Instead of being a trader or merchant, be a producer. Crush your mountain, dry your oceans, and dig your mines. Create enough employment opportunity. Have your own research and innovation wing. Develop your own processing plant." Like that. And now we see how the direction of the entire Tata Group of Industry changed, and what is the gigantic volume of this group of industry. So this way, we should think of becoming a producer. Now this corona pandemic has taught us many things. And there are many beautiful sides of this pandemic. Although human life becomes in standstill, but there are new avenues, new opportunities under this disastrous effect of this pandemic. Now, Narendra Modi ji, our honorable Prime Minister, at the beginning told that Jaan hai to jahan hai. So first, lockdown was announced to protect our life, then livelihood. Then again, when she saw that this will be a prolonged affair, then he said, Jaan bhi, jahan hi bhi. Life and livelihood should go together. Again, he declared, Jag se jan tak, from individual to the whole world. Now, during this pandemic, we came to know how vulnerable we are. We depend for many things on foreign producers, foreign companies. During pandemic, before pandemic, we did not have a single PPE kit produced in our country. We had to import it from China and other countries. Now, we are producing more than 4,50,000 every day, and we are exporting PPE kits. So a national resolve was necessary, and Narendra Modi could impress upon the people, in spite of all this disastrous and disappointing situation, the faith and the strength of hope and a sense of determination for making India. And he declared a goal that is Atmanirbhar Bharat, local product with global outreach. That was the slogan given by Narendra Modi, and soon it became a national region. We are importing bamboo sticks for incense, though, from China 78% and from Vietnam 21%. Now, the duty on import from foreign countries was raised by 25%. So, almost it has been stopped. But a problem came. Immediately, we did not have a Swadeshi alternative. That was discussed on the departmental meeting in our ministry. And I suggested that we can develop that industry, and before that, we can to pass through this transition period. That is a beautiful idea, that we can start incense without stick. And our Gaumata offers the raw material for that. Out of cow dung, adding some other powders, we can prepare dopes without any bamboo stick. Not necessary. So, this we should have to think in a new manner, in an innovative manner. And now our young talents are ready to bridge this critical gap, but they should be given support. Unless the ideas are materialized, it has no value. So we should support them to materialize their ideas. I remember a story, one science lecturer was lecturing on Archimedes' principle, how things float in the water, how to swim, what is the basic principle. By that time, a small baby fell into the nearby water bodies, and students shouted, "Oh, sir, please save that boy." Now the teacher told, No, I know the science of swimming. I do not know the art of swimming. Then the students replied, then it will do nothing, sir, if you know only the science of swimming, and if you cannot swim, that makes no sense at all. Your eloquent speeches makes no sense at all. Similarly, we should have the courage, the technical knowledge, and the idea and the opportunity to translate our ideas into action. Vision without action is a delusion. And action without vision is confusion. And vision, mission plus action is perfection. So, Narendra Modi's ideas of Startup India, vocal for local product with global outreach, has a great significance which we will have to translate into action. Our government has declared many packages, starting from Garib Kalyan packages and other packages of 20 lakh crore to revive our economy. It starts with my department, my ministry. 3 lakh crore collateral-free loan to standard accounts which are not NPAs but are on the way to NPA. But many units do not know how to apply, how to get the loan, and bankers are not cooperating. But we shall have to face this situation boldly with a cooperative spirit. Not competition, but cooperation shall be the slogan of the new age. Now, there is a lacuna that only 20% of their outstanding loan they will get. Those who have repaid the loan or those who have not taken the loan will be deprived of this facility. Now, we are thinking of amending this particular provision and to allow those who have not taken loan and those who have repaid the loan. The second sector is the subordinate debt fund that is arranged for the stressed accounts. Those who have declared NPA prior to Corona, they had no other chance of revival. The only way was open to them was the bank will come and croak their property, auction their property to recover the amount of loan. They have given a chance for relief. They can take loan from this subordinate debt fund. And the third one is for the healthy accounts, which accounts are really healthy, whose track record is good, financial record is good, market is good. But for this COVID-19, for 4 or 5 months, their business stopped, their production stopped, their market crunched, and their value chain also disturbed. So, how to revive these units? Government is given 10,000 rupees, 10,000 crores of rupees as a mother fund, as a corpus fund, and from market through equity infusion, 40,000 rupees will be collected. And so there will be a fund size of 50,000 rupees. And they can revive, they can restructure, reorganize their units out of this fund. But for startups, what is the program? There are other existing traditional schemes like Spurti Cluster, Aspire, PMEGP, CGTMSE, out of which they can take loan. But it's not that easy. They should know the technical know-how, how to apply, how to register under Udyam, how to prepare DPR, and how to get it approved through the DIC or the DIE or the NSIC, like that. And how to take the guidance from NSIC or the toll rooms or the extension centers, and how to have global market access. So how to make them update with the latest technologies. There are many dimensions of this whole program so that they can enrich themselves and they can take the benefit of the skills. Now the question arises that what should be the time gap? How these plans will be fruitful? There is no time gap. It can be done with a very small time or it can be a longer time. This depends upon according to the wisdom of the entrepreneur and how he gets the support from different agencies. Here comes the role of your startup runway. There are two types of energies. One is crude energy, another is human energy. Raw coal is useless. It's a source of energy. But if we pass it through processing technologies, then fuel will come. It can run a train, it can run a machine. Then many chemicals will come, saccharin will come, and radium will also emerge from out of that coal. It is unbelievable but true that out of this coal, radium, a very brightest material comes, which is the panacea for cancer and all that. But although it is unbelievable, it is true. Similarly, human energy, we put so much of emphasis, we spend so much of time, energy and money for processing this crude energy. But might be coal, petroleum or anything else. But we put very less emphasis on processing this human energy. Because human resource is the biggest resource, and if it is properly processed, then all these natural crude resources will be processed by that excellent human energy, and wealth will be produced. And how to process this human energy? The answer is education. Swami Vivekananda said, education is the manifestation of perfection already in man. जो अंतर्निहित सामर्थ्य है, पूर्णता है, उनको विकसित करना, अभिव्यक्त करना, यही शिक्षा है. And ideas running right undigested all your life cannot be called education. If you take one idea and make it your life, then you have more education than a person who has got by heart a whole library. For many years, our universities thought that remembrance is the only source of knowledge. Had it been so, then encyclopedias would have been the greatest and wisest of professors. It's not like that. There are other faculty of human mind. This creativity faculty, we have neglected for years. Now, time has compelled us to put emphasis on that. I have been happy to learn that our young entrepreneurs, student entrepreneurs from Gujarat, innovators, they are earning money by millions every year, by $1 million, US dollars every year, even before they are becoming graduates. Earning while learning is a beautiful concept. So instead of becoming employee, we can become employer, and that sort of knowledge should be imparted to them so that their confidence level will be raised. This self-confidence is quite essential. Self-trust is the secret of success, said a great man. So education's main role is to develop this set of self-trust, self-confidence. Swami Vivekananda said, faith in Lord, faith in yourself. If you have faith in the 330 millions of your mythological gods and goddesses, and in all the gods and goddesses which foreigners have introduced into your midst time and again, but have no faith in your own self, there is no salvation for you. So first necessary is self-trust, self-confidence. You should develop an idea of Shraddha. Shraddha, I remember a very beautiful incident of Kathopanishad when Nachiketa revolted against the misdeeds of his father. He was pretending, and he came and protested in a very polite manner. Oh, father, whom do you give to me? Because according to these provisions of this yajna, all property should be given. And I am your property, whom are you going to give me? Now, his father, Vajasravasa Rishi, out of anger, told that, I give you to Yamaraja. Kasmaimang dasya shviti Nachiketa asked, it will that mrityu tvam dadamiti, I offer you to the god of death, Yamaraja. Nachiketa told to himself, Bahunamesi prathamo, Bahunamesi madhyamo. Kings with Yamasya kartave, and me adya karishati. I am first among many. I am standing among many in the middle row, but never I am standing in the last one. So, what the Yamaraja will do with me? Let me go and meet death face to face. He went to Yamapura, and the god of death was absent from the headquarters. He was on tour. But Nachiketa stood there for 3 days, and he was offered food, drink, and rest and lunch, but he refused. He told that no, until and unless I see the god of death, I cannot take anything. Upanishad says, Shraddha avivesa. Shraddha entered into his heart, so she stood with utmost confidence and concentration. When Yamaraja came, he begged apology. Go Rishi Kumara, I may be pardoned for my delay in coming, and you faced such a discomfort. So please ask 3 boons for 3 days. He asked very ordinary boons in the first 2. Then in the third boon, he asked a very important boon. He asked, some people say that man's whole existence is finished with the demise of his physical body. And some are of the opinion that no, this physical body made of 5 gross elements will merge in the cosmic elements, and the inner soul, the self, the inner spirit, which is the real existence, will survive. It is eternal, beginningless and endless. So tell me, Yamaraja, what is the real truth? Now Yamaraja offered him many temptations. He told that, no, don't ask this, Nachiketa, please. This is not known by the gods also. This is quite durvigya for gods, for devas. So if you want, I can say it, any other boon I can give. I can make you the Indra of Swarga. I can make you the owner of Amaravati Puram. I can grant you the boon of Animadi Ashta Siddhi. Whatever you want, the whole treasure, the whole wealth of the heaven and earth will be given to you. Then Nachiketa asked, can I get truth face to face by this boon? No. Can I get immortality? No. Can I visualize God? No. then I have nothing to do with this faltu wounds. I want only this, and you are the real preceptor, and I want your guidance. Then Yamaraj taught him, practiced him, and while coming, he told that Uttishtata Jagrata Prapyavaran Nivodata. Swamiji translated it as arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached. So this should be the madness. You may be failed several times, but you should have the courage to start another innovation. Until and unless you reach your goal, you should not stop your work. You should not allow anything to arrest your step. That should be the courage of an entrepreneur. And I remember a shloka. Prarabhyate nakalu vigna bhayena niche. Prarabdha vigna bhita viramanti madhya. Vignahi punaha punarapi pratyanyamana. Prarabdha muttama jana naparityajanti. There are some people who will not start any innovation, any work, any entrepreneurship for fear of loss. They will not start agriculture, farming, because there may be flood, there may be famine. They will not. They belong to the third category, the worst category called adhama. There are some people who will start the work, but if a single problem will come, they will stop it. Suppose somebody started coconut farming. 5,000 coconut plants were planted, and after 6 months, one of their relatives died, or their family member died. Now the Pandits in the village came around him and told that you have done a wrong thing. We were going to sell it, but you did not obey. Now you see what is the consequence. Because you planted coconut tree, your uncle died. And this man, his brain was contaminated by superstition, and superstition is the biggest danger in the progress of humanity. So now he stopped coconut planting. He cut all the coconut trees, and he was under the intoxicant belief, the superstition, that coconut is not conducive to my family line. So after 500 years also, they will be purchasing coconut from the market, and if somebody will say, why don't you plant a few coconut trees? You are having such a big piece of land. No, it is not conducive to our family line. It will finish us. So this is a biggest enemy in the field of entrepreneurship, this superstition. Many false babas come and they loot money by lakhs, crores from superstitious businessman. The third one is Vignahi Punaha Punarapi Pratyanyamana. Being obstructed, injured. Why? Many types of challenges. The successful man marches ahead, and after 1,000 times of failure, he makes a new start. So all our startups should wear this mind. And with this madness, we should try to create a new India. We should process our natural resources. India is a land of controversies. India is a land of contradictions. Here, extreme richness and extreme poverty have a coexistence. Extreme wisdom and extreme illiteracy coexist. Extreme strength and extreme weakness coexist. That is a tragedy with us. There are sky-touching persons, but until and unless the average man's growth is assured, a few top people cannot transform the fate of the nation. And education is nothing but transformation. You are having a 50-hour course in 25 classes, 2 hours each. It is good. But what is the value of the education? Its education is not to get by heart and reproducing or vomiting in the answer scripts. Education is being and becoming. Transformation. I remember this lecturing method, taking 128 or 150 students in a class and one lecturer will lecture from the pedestal, is a very dangerous method of teaching. The worst method of teaching which has been imported from Europe. Our ancient method of teaching was very living. It was interaction was the method. Books were not used, and such living education can never be dull. It was a living education. I remember one story. One bright disciple asked his teacher, Guru, in a forest university. Oh Guru, please tell me that which plants do not have medicinal properties. The Guru told that I have taught you the process of experimenting. You go and learn for yourself. Don't ask this question. You learn. The student went to the forest with all his instruments and he started his experimentation. 6 months passed away, the student did not come back. 7 months, 8 months, 9 months. Then the teacher, out of anxiety, went into the deep forest and found his student busy experimenting. Then he asked, why did you not go back? Because, sir, my experiment is yet to be completed. Years long experiment gave a beautiful result. Do you know what came out? A fundamental principle of our Ayurveda came out of that experiment, that is nano shadhi midam jagat. There is nothing in the world, not only plants, but bricks, soil, earth, sands, water, sun ray, whatever is in there in the creation, everything is full of medicinal properties. Full of medicinal properties. And this disciple's name was Charaka. He was an expert in those days in the field of medicine, and another expert was Shusruta in the field of surgery. We are the teachers of the world in the field of medicine, medical science. We are teachers in everything else. We are teachers in medical science, we are teachers in mathematics, algebra, arithmetic, geometry. We taught the world the knowledge of zero. Just imagine if zero would not have been discovered in India, how precarious would have been the position of our mathematics today. So, we should be innovative. This innovative faculty is there in the student. We are to encourage it. And now this 50-hour class should only ignite the fire of learning among the students. Ignite self-confidence among the students. They are having everything. The teacher cannot teach anything. The teacher can teach nothing. Everything is in the student. Swami Vivekananda used to say, what we say learning is in strict psychological sense, is what we discover. Newton was watching how the apple falls. Everybody, millions of people are watching every day, but nobody thought over it. But Newton wanted to know why the apple is falling. Why the apple is not going up, why it is not going northward, southward, eastward, westward. He thought over the point, thought over the problem for days together, and he discovered a missing link in his own brain and connected it and named it as the force of gravitation. The knowledge was within. It was only discovered. The missing link was connected and the whole world gets benefit out of it. Like that, our mind is the infinite treasure house of knowledge. And in English they say, knowledge is power. This knowledge can empower us. We shall have to discover it, dive deep into our mind. That is the source of all knowledge. So we should know how to train our mind, and that is the education, real education. Your this beautiful and bright class will enable our young entrepreneurs to think very systematically, to arrange things in order in their mind, and to discover, to innovate, and so that our country will be prosperous. That should be the goal, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now, there was a flow to the cities. Unfortunately, in India, urbanization means more dirt, more slums, more disease, more pollution, which should not have been, but it is a fact. So now people have a different, an opposite flow. After this pandemic, they're asked to our villages. Many people are in a very precarious condition. Our young innovators should have a big dream. Small dream is a crime, said our ex-president Abdul Kalam, former President Abdul Kalam. Swami Vivekananda also said, you are all born to do great things. Believe in it. The sooner you believe, the better. You are not only a dry leaf to be floated away in the wave of the history. You can change the course of history. You can create your own fortune, and you can build the fortune of our nation. In this great process of rebuilding the nation, let us join our hands together with our great and honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who is working day and night and who is making his whole team work for the rebuilding of our nation. India was begging a few years back. With a begging bowl, India is moving throughout the world. Now, India supplied hydroxychloroquine to the whole world. India donated billions of rupees to Russia. India is now a global leader. Our great Prime Minister Narendra Modi proposed in the United Nations that June 21 should be observed as the International Yoga Day, and the whole world responded very enthusiastically. More than 190 nations performed it. That means the spiritual leadership of India was accepted globally under the able leadership of a champion like Narendra Modi. So this is high time that India has achieved many great things. Be it elimination of 3370 or 35A, be it elimination of Tin Talaq, be it the legislation of Citizenship Amendment Act, or be it facing the China's army with all courage and allowing them not to move an inch towards Indian territory, or the construction of Sri Rama temple. India's prestige is very high now. And Indian soldiers under the able leadership of Narendra Modi crossed the boundaries and finished the terrorists, the IS agents, even the Pakistani armies in Pakistan and Myanmar. So our prestige is sky high now. Now this is a time for work. We can work hard. Work hard with a nobler mission. If you work hard, if you innovate for your own personal profit, then your goal is very limited and the chance of your greater success is also limited. But you work hard with a nobler mission that will charge your mission, and your success will be very wide and very big. One example would suffice. Somebody was three laborers were working in a breeze. A passersby while moving saw that in the scorching heat they are working very hard, they may be tired, and he asked the first laborer, "Why are you working without taking rest? This is the time to take rest." Now he told that, no, this is not the time to take rest, because I am a slave. I have no liberty. I work for my master, otherwise my whole family will be without food. He went to the next one. "Why are you working? Please take rest." No. That cannot be done. Because I have to feed my family, and this is abundant duty on my part. Although I am not interested, but I have no other option. Then he went to the third one. The third laborer was asked the same question, and his face was turned red with joy, fright. He told, "You see, sir, my village is separated from the outer world by this river. We cannot go to the hospital. We cannot go to the fire station. We cannot go to the market. Our students cannot go to the school during rainy season. We are suffering a lot. Now government has granted funds for the construction of this bridge. And if we don't work, it will take a long time for the completion of the bridge. Now I have been fortunate enough to be given a chance to work here." Now you see, the three laborers will get the same wage. But the psychological satisfaction which the spiritual satisfaction which the third laborer will get, the others cannot be, because of this attitude. So with this attitude, if we go on innovating, our young entrepreneurs, with this mad patriotism, if they work hard, then there will be a financial revolution in India, and you will all be the makers of history. So I appeal to you all, put all your energies, all your brains, all your minds for this revival of our Indian economy. Not only economy, the entire socio-cultural life of India. You can do that. There is a great past behind us, and our present is also becoming great, although sometimes it was a decadence, Now, gradually we are growing up, and we can see, we can visualize the greatest future that is waiting for us, which was prescribed, which was prophesied by Swami Vivekananda, Sri Aurobindo, and many other great men. Who will materialize it? We will materialize it. You young entrepreneurs, I will be happy to see you shining like stars in Indian horizon, Indian skies, and creating history. You are the makers of destiny of yours and of India and of the whole world. India will be the world leader very soon under the leadership of Sri Narendra Modi. I have strong belief in that, and you are all the stakeholders of this great. I remember today, you can join many sectors for your innovation. Our villages can be made green village, clean village, digital village, organic village. Organic farming should be a priority for all of us. And there are many sectors which we can prefer khad, prefer our Panchagavya industry should be developed as a Gramodyoga, so that we can feed all our people. Our khadi, our charkha, our Panchagavya can be a biggest source of innovation, and we can provide everything for our people out of these 3-4 things. Images are built of this cow dung, deeps, dopes, sabun, soaps, and many things else. Even rakhis, there are hundreds and one articles produced out of cow dung, and medicines are prepared out of this urine of the cows, and pesticides are also prepared. Many things are there. Waste management is a beautiful sector, and our young innovators should put their brain for this. Our e-waste, our kitchen waste, our industrial waste, our agricultural waste can be processed, can be recycled, reused, and we can create more employment in this field. Floriculture, agriculture, agro-waste industries, food processing plants. Thus, we can add value. Potato is sold at 5 rupees a kg during the time of production, and at other times our farmers are purchasing potato at 50 rupees. Potato chips at 500 rupees. Our farmers can produce potato chips, tomato sauce, achar, jelly, juice, jam, odi, papad. So they can be trained, they can provide some marketing support, some financial support, and they can have a direct access to market. And our MSME is providing this direct access to global markets even. Our rural artisans preparing many things out of brass, out of different metals, our saris, our khadis, our embroidery, and the mediator is looting them. If they are provided access to the global market, they will get direct money. From mine to market is your concept, and that is a good thing. You should see that our people are not exploited. कर्ज मुक्त किसान, रोजगार युक्त नौजवान, जहर मुक्त आहार, ये सब आज बहुत जरूरी है, और इसलिए हमको विज्ञान का उपयोग करना है, प्रयुक्ति विद्या का उपयोग करना है. And you are the stalwarts, you are the champions who will do this. Never mind a failure. There may be 100 failures, but you will come out success if you try more. And that's the teaching of Bhagavan Sri Krishna in the Gita. I believe our young entrepreneurs will do miracles. They are born to do miracles, to make possible the impossibles, and not to cry but to roar and to create history. And I sincerely believe that our young entrepreneurs will do this, and their talent will be used for the service of the nation, for new innovation, to create our country as a manufacturing hub in the world, and to take to such a height which the world will feel jealous of. With this, I conclude.